Hey, welcome back everybody. Hollywoodpizza here. Hope you've been keeping it cheesy. I've got a deck that I think you should be playing at this Sunday, April 10th Slice of Alchemy event. That's right. Today we're going to be playing Mardu Ventures. I must say I have been crushing it with this deck, absolutely dominating. It just feels like I'm never out of any games with this deck. Essentially, this deck has the Triumphant Adventure, Nadar Venture going into the dungeon type of synergies, that engine going essentially. And in this version as well, even though we only have one red card, it is a powerful red card, which is the Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Essentially, you get a 2/2 in the first part of it. Whenever that attacks, you get a treasure. Then you can discard a couple cards if you want to redraw a couple cards. And then for the third chapter, it flips into a 2/2 that's one colorless tap. Create a token of a copy. Create a token that's a copy of a target non-legendary creature, except for it has haste. Then you sacrifice it at the end step. So you kind of can get into some spots where you play a Fable, and then you have a City Stalker Connoisseur out. This gets to the Reflection, and then essentially you kind of lock your opponent out of every draw that they have, if they have like one card in their hand, or you can kind of just start to strip their hand completely down. Another great card that we have in here is Lisa. This is 5 mana 4/5 flying lifelink. It's a white black gold card. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, return that card to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. This card's great. Gets rid of cards outright, just exiles them when they go to the graveyard. It brings back all of your value creatures. So essentially, like let's say you can kind of freely block or attack with the Connoisseur, and then if it dies, then it just goes back to your hand, and then you get some more value by making them discard another card. Triumphant Adventure already trades with most cards, so the fact that, if you end up wiping most of their board and then you just get it back anyways, I mean, you're probably going to win that game. Same with Nadar. You can even just freely attack with this when you have Lisa out, just knowing that it's just going to go back to your hand. The last, I guess, powerful card really here in the main deck is the Wandering Emperor. If you don't know, this card is extremely, extremely powerful. So far, it's definitely just like a dominant force in standard. Essentially, anytime that, you or your opponent have 4 mana open, and both players kind of know what's going to happen. I can give a +1/+1 counter on first strike until end of turn. For a +1 ability, -1, it makes a 2/2 Samurai, -2, exile target tap creature, gain 2 life. 4 mana, 2 white, 2 colorless, 3 loyalty entering. It has flash, and as long as it entered the battlefield this turn, you can activate the ability anytime you can cast an instant. So kind of get some blowout attacks and blocks in, or essentially if your opponent just like attacks with like a really good threat, you can kind of just exile their card outright. So makes combat awkward for your opponent, and just a powerful card overall that can also help finish the game by going wide. We also have Valky, which Valky is great as a 2-drop. You can kind of get their best creature out of their hand and then end up turning this into it later in the game if you have the mana for it or if it survives. The second half of this card, though, on the flip side, is Tybalt, Cosmic Imposter. If you ever get to cast that, a lot of the time, you're probably going to win the game unless you're behind by a lot, but it ends up just generating a ton of value by, let's see, so 7 mana, comes in with 5 loyalty. As it enters the battlefield, you get an emblem with whenever you get an emblem with, you may play cards exiled with this card and spend mana as over mana of any color to cast them. +2, exile the top card of each player's library. So essentially you get to draw cards, and since you have that emblem, essentially those cards just stay there even when the Tybalt leaves. So it's just kind of really, really powerful synergy. We also have the ultimates -8. Exile all graveyards, add 3 red. That can get out of hand. And the -3, exile target artifact or creature, which is kind of just a nice little removal spell there for chariots or anything like that. In terms of our removal, we have a March of the Otherworldly Light, which is kind of just like a catch-all type of spell. 2 Vanishing Verses, which is just a solid removal spell in Standard at the moment, and Alchemy. We have a Power Word Kill and Infernal Grasp, which are also another kind of like pinpoint removal spells that help. And Precipitous Drop, which actually helps with our Venture strategy. So like, just killing their card and getting some extra value out of it is kind of just fantastic. And later in the game, once you've actually completed your dungeon, you can just pretty much kill almost everything for -5/-5. Additionally, we have Haggard's Mauling, which doubles up as a land and a removal spell as well. Just a great versatile card. And to finish up the deck, we have these Duresses here, which are pretty good. definitely main deckable nowadays. You're gonna either get a removal spell or like a powerful planeswalker, Kaido, anything like that. So Duress has definitely been fantastic so far. I can say that. So the main deck, pretty good. For a land base, we have one Iganjo, which has just been a great utility land. Takenuma, didn't really get to use it too much yet, but it's good when you are able to use it, right? Just because you're able to get back like Alisa, Wandering Emperor, anything like that. We also have 3 Hive of the Iotarn, which is just a great creature land overall, one of the best, if not the best. Other than that, we have a couple Forsaken Crossroads. 1 Dungeon Descent to kind of help with that venture in case we kind of get stalled out, where our Lisa and our Nadar, the Valky, can help activate this Dungeon Descent and kind of help complete one of our dungeons if we need to. For the sideboard, we have that 4th Duress, which helps in the control matchups or just those grindy mid-range matchups where you know that they're going to have like cards like a Fable or some Planeswalkers. We have a couple Go Blanks, which also help grind them out, get rid of their last couple cards, or even just exile graveyards as well, which is fantastic. We have 4 Graveyard Trespassers, another great grindy creature, great in the aggro matchups, great when you need to exile things in the graveyard. Even against control, you don't mind bringing it in because it's a 3-mana threat that can easily flip into like, it's a 3-mana 3/3 that can easily flip into a 4/4, and it has that ward ability, so anytime they want to kill it with a targeted removal spell, they do have to discard a card as well. We have 2 Bloodchief's Thirst here to kind of help round out some extra removal. We have 2 Archon of Emerius, which are great against runes or any kind of aggro deck, anything that might be moving too fast. We have our extra 3rd Wandering Emperor here, in case we do need that for the grindy matchups, anything like that. We also have a Lolth, which also helps with those grindy matchups as well. Kind of gives us a little bit of some variety in the sideboard by having different kind of threats for different situations. We have 2 Meathook Massacres, which help round out the sideboard here for any of those aggro matchups or even sometimes in the mid-range matchups. It's kind of great to just wipe the board, gain some life, kind of just like reset a little bit. So overall, this deck is great. Essentially, you're just trying to outvalue your opponent. Almost all of your cards are 2-for-1 outside of like the targeted removal. But yeah, just a solid deck overall. We had some great games for you here, and I hope that you enjoy. Don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. We have a tournament this Sunday, April 10th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's free to play Alchemy. So definitely check out those links in the description below and enjoy the content. Hope for a good opening hand here. These hands are always kind of close. Can't cast this if we cast this as a white land. I think I'm still going to keep it. Hope that this adventure sticks. Drew Duress, not bad. And it looks like we're playing against Selesnya, green-white. Yeah, unfortunately did not hit our 3rd land yet. Did hit a removal spell, so we could discard one of our white cards to cast it, but I don't really think that's necessary yet. Or even like, I don't know if that's like the best option. Okay, Vulpagamy Vampire, they'll gain some life. Drawing the 3rd land is fantastic. We'll go ahead and attack for 2 here. Go ahead and scry 1. I don't really think we need another one of those right now. They're just going to take the 2 damage. We'll cast this Nadar. Make a treasure. And pass a turn. Save it for next turn. We can Connoisseur and Duress if we need to. Okay, wedding announcement. We can save our march to exile that eventually. Gonna come in for 2. We're okay with that. Make a token. Gain some life. Draw a card. So many things. So we'll get 2. So we get a redraw here. Let's do that first. See what we get before we do anything. Let's just go ahead and shrink this down. Draw a card. Alright, we did hit the land, so that's great. Can actually play Lisa. Is that better? Now let's Connoisseur and Duress. Just play Lisa and then just attack them. Yeah, let's just play Lisa. It's just a 5/6. There's like no reason not to, actually. They just have so many cards, right? Like, the effectiveness of this isn't as strong. And in all honesty, like the board presence, you know, we don't really need the 3/3 body. 5/6 lifelink's just better. See if our opponent has a counter to this right now. 6 cards in hand. They do have the wedding announcement going off. Just gonna draw them some cards. Okay, so they do have 5 mana now. And they just say go. So we're gonna go ahead and just duress here first, see what our opponent has, see what they're up to, considering they just passed with 6 cards in hand. They have a Wandering Emperor. Okay. These are awesome cards. Probably take the retreat. It's going to be more difficult to deal with that. Can duress again. And then we can cast Kiki's. They can activate that. Yeah, let's take the Storm the Fest. Let's delay it. I guess make it 10 mana. Next time they want to cast that. Unless they draw another one. Even if they do, they need the land for it. I don't think that we want to attack right now. If I attack with both of these, one of them's probably going to die to this. They can just give this plus counter and then first strike as well. Yeah, it doesn't really seem that great. We'll just go ahead and pass the turn here. Yep, make that a 3/4. Seems pretty good. Could just end up... If they drew a land, probably just end up playing the Azusa's, right? Just getting both of their land drops, playing the Innkeeper, gain some more life, clog up the board some more, and then next turn, depending on what we draw, we might redraw off of this. Yeah, that's going to be their whole hand, so we might just want to get rid of this Connoisseur, even though it does get rid of things on the ground and keep coming back. And the combo... I think it's kind of close. They're going to get another creature here. Everything's going to get +1/+1. They might go for the counter here, and then we just exile it and then kill their Wandering Emperor. Can also just swing out with all of our creatures next turn. Okay, they made a token. Guess they double block Nadara, which would be pretty rough. Okay. I actually don't think we want to get rid of any of these. I think we will get rid of this, though. And then we'll attack here. Do we want to attack with this? Yeah, let's just... They have to just block with, like, all of their cards, pretty much, if they want to deal with this. The Adventure, because it first strike Death Touch. Kill the Wandering Emperor, go up to 24. And let's go and see what our opponent's up to on their turn. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Almost could cast the Storm the Festival if they get one more land off the top. We're going to flip the Kiki's, cast the Connoisseur. No blocks. Take the 3. And we even have a Vanishing Verse. That's pretty good. Could also keep the Connoisseur for next turn. Cast this. And Vanishing Verse whatever they play. That doesn't seem bad either. Let's attack with both of these. Go and get a scry in, see what's on top of our deck. Put that to the bottom. We don't really need any more lands right now. Even though we're not able to like double spell, it's completely fine. Opponent's going to take all the damage here. And yeah, I actually think let's just go for the other adventure plus the Vanishing Verse line. We'll get so many ventures here next turn. If we attack with everyone, it's going to be 3. They get a 4/4, which is pretty good, so can't even attack with this anymore, really. I guess we couldn't attack through this either, but yeah, that's pretty good. Wow, they're going to do that. That is an interesting choice. Do we just get rid of the Wren? Or do we get rid of the Welcoming Vampire? We can get rid of the Welcoming... I guess we kind of almost get rid of both. Yeah, let's get rid of this. Just because we'll still be able to attack this down to 1. It's kind of like it dies. They're not going to be able to use most of its abilities. Alright, sweet. Let's go place this a black source. Get a Connoisseur down. They're just going to discard a land. So it sucks, I guess, because they still have a land in their hand. Still probably going to do this on their turn. We could copy an adventure. 4, 5. Copy an adventure, get 3 activations. It'll be a treasure. We can make something not attack. Can make this not attack. I think we still want to go for the Connoisseur. They'll just let it die if we do this either way. Yeah, that's fine. Let's go and get rid of the Wren. Could make a treasure as well. Is making a treasure good? Are they going to attack? I guess we just block anyways. With doesn't. I don't really think it matters. I think we'll just make a treasure, just because we have Death Touch here. Scry 2. I actually think what we want that, as weird as it is. They're just gonna let it die. We'll gain 5 more off of the Lisa, which is nice. Oh, never mind. First strike. Haha. Just kidding. Pass the turn. Kind of just want them to make like a mistake somewhere. Activate this, and then we can just play a land, activate this, and then we just Connoisseur him. They just have Wren. Sure. Seems pretty good. Yep, Tree Folk. I guess we could have gotten rid of their land. Haha. It's okay though, they had the mana no matter what for the Storm the Festival, but probably was the play there. See, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, we can just copy this. Would have been nice to get some value, but we just trade here anyways. They can untap some lands, make this into a 3/4, I guess. In case we do end up killing the Tree Folk. Let's see, we can make 2 skeletons and scry 3 next turn. And we have this here as well. So we can get 3. Okay. So We want to attack with both of these, right? Yeah, and then we can activate this here. We'll get to do the last part of it. And we kind of just have them locked out of the game with this. It's kind of crazy how powerful that combination is. It's come up for us like every game so far. Yeah, I mean, Blood Chief's there still seems pretty good. Duress seems really good against them. The Planeswalker City and Wedding Invitations. And maybe cut a drop. A Valky. To cut one more card. Get rid of the March. Power word kills. They have Angels. Let's get rid of the power word kill. Wondering... I guess we could bring in the gold blank against the Storm of the Festival as well. And Meehook's actually good against Storm of the Festival decks. So let's actually... Let's bring in both Meehooks. Let's cut another drop. Bring in a go blank. Or maybe we just do this. Yeah, that seems pretty decent. Like, we get rid of some of our targeted removal, but having the Meehook against them is really good. You know, they just flood the board and then you just Meehook for whatever. Obviously, getting rid of the Tree Folk might not be the easiest, but we did bring in 2 Blood Chiefs there to kind of make up for it, so... Yeah, I'm just going to keep this hand. I don't really see anything wrong with it. For max value, so we can do this. I think we still just lead off with this to be able to cast our Adventure off of our turn 2 Hive. And they have Innkeeper to start. Again, so it looks like we just have Adventure into Adventure. Maybe if we top deck another Sanctum or a Black Source, we'll be able to do both of these. Or even a White Source too, then we'll be able to still cast the Adventure either way. So we're already getting some Venture started here, and they have a wedding announcement. It's pretty good. Obviously, duressing that turn 1 would have been nice. Now we're hitting a lot more duresses. That just feels bad. Let's go ahead and just pump one out here. Yeah, I'll get rid of go ahead and get rid of both of these Wandering Emperors here. Play this tapped. We have 2 removal spells. Go ahead and swing out here. We'll go ahead and scry 1. We had a Mauling. That's great. We'll just kill everything that they play. They already used the treasure on the wedding announcement, so they need to draw some lands here. Azusa does let them play an additional land, but it doesn't look like they do have any. And they'll go ahead and redraw there. We have a removal spell now as backup. Go ahead and attack here with this Adventure. I don't really see a reason to make the Goblin. Let's just go and just have double removal spell with both of these here. And unless, I guess if they draw a basic, then the Mauling won't cost 3 mana. Then you get to gain some life, so kind of keeps them in the game here. And we'll just take 2 damage, go down to 16. They'll redraw. Okay, so go blank. Doesn't do anything crazy yet. Let's go and attack with both of these. Get 2 more Ventures. Let's drain. And draw a card. Okay, so we drew a land. I'm just going to kill this Innkeeper for now. Just to stop them from gaining some life here. And we still have the Haggard's Maul. If they drew a land, we could still cast this at 4, so it's not a big deal. Take 2 damage. Could play Welcoming Vampire. We just kill that. Yep. And that's dead. Come back to our turn. Let's go just attack first. Go ahead and start the dungeon. Gain a life and then scry one. Connoisseur's pretty good. We'll definitely keep that. The question is do we want to cast this go blank? We can just kill that as well. Yeah, I'm just going to kill that. And do we just want to use all of our mana now? Yeah, let's just do that. Could just make them discard 2. And then next turn we're just going to Connoisseur their other Legion Angel out of their hand. Let's do this. See if we can get their expensive cards now. And then the next turn we'll be able to get the Angel that they re-get with this. And then still keep swinging with our adventures. Alright, so we did get rid of what? Maybe a Wren? Skyclave Apparition for one of the adventures. That's fine. Completely okay with that. It sucks because we're obviously not going to be getting 2 ventures a turn, but we do have a Connoisseur here to potentially get rid of this Angel. And it does. Go and swing here. Make a treasure. Can't attack next turn. Yeah, let's make this not be able to attack us just in case. I don't want to take any damage here. I guess we would trade, but say they have a removal spell for the Connoisseur, then want to make sure that we don't take that much damage on the way back, and we go ahead and get another victory here. Let's go. Deck's been treating us pretty good so far. Alright, Mardu Ventures, huh? This deck's pretty good. Lots of value. You definitely just start to run away with the game once you kind of get all your engines going, or even just, I mean, just one of your engines is already enough. Let's see what our next opponent is up to. See if we're playing against something spicy. Hopefully we have a good hand here. Waiting a little bit extra in the queue here. Let's go ahead and jump into another game here. Really enjoying this deck so far. It's pretty fun. Lots of value to be had. Who knew Venture could be good, right? All they needed to do was buff it. We just needed Alchemy. That's all we needed, and then Venture's good now. Alright, jump right into a game here. And we're on the play, which is great. Semi-weak hand, but I will actually keep it. Go ahead and start off with the Hive of the Eye Siren here into the Bright Climb Pathway Adventure. Then we have a Power Word Kill. Eventually we might be able to just activate the Hive. See what our opponent's up to. I think they're still making mulligan decisions here. And gonna get this Hive down. We have a red source too for the Fable. Getting flooded a little bit so far, but see where the game takes us. So it looks like they're playing control, unfortunately. We have a removal spell in our hand. That's not really going to help much. I don't know if we want to commit this second Triumphant Adventure yet. Put that land to the bottom. And actually, then I'm going to say go. I don't want to get blown up by a meat hook here. It'd be really unfortunate. Just a meat hook for one would be pretty rough. Spellbinder. Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't really matter. We can cast both of these cards next turn, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, we can just hold up that. Go and attack here. Let's make a goblin. Hit them for 2. Bring them down to 16. And we'll go ahead and say go. Alright, and I think they're going to come in for damage. We're going to go down to 17. They got another Spellbinder. That's fine. I mean, may as well cast this now. Get rid of the untap one. Save ourselves some damage as well. They're going to make our adventure. It costs 4 mana. And we have a Lisa. That's great, actually. Red source. Play our Lisa. Attack for 3. Bring them down to 13. We'll get the Venture again. Put a counter on the token. Hit them down. They'll probably kill the Lisa, is my guess. Just because it's our best card. I mean, bringing them down to 8, if they get greedy and attack with the Spellbinder, is fine with me too. Let's see what they're up to here. They do have 5 cards left. Okay, so they have a Captain. And what's the card that they got? Alright, they got a Valkyrie. That's really good. Pretty good. So they can kill the Lisa. And we still come in with the adventure here. Get a redraw. Fortunately, it's a land. Cast Connoisseur. Got rid of another Spellbinder. Let's play this tapped and say go. We get to use the blood token here on the pathway. That way we can try to at least draw something that's action here. They're at 10. I mean, even though, yeah, I could say they're not close to getting to where the Valkyrie needs to be. I mean, if they play another Valkyrie, then we're in some serious trouble here. Oh, wow, that's still pretty scary as well. So when it dies. Okay. So I still can't attack. Let's go ahead and use our blood token here. Try to get a redraw. Kiki's is actually pretty good, and we do have the removal spell for the Valkyrie. So let's go ahead and kill that. Let's get this Fable down, make a token. Play this as a land, just in case our opponent can get rid of one of our cards. And yep. Go ahead and attack with both of these. Start going off with the dungeon here. Go back up to 20. And the Ora does gain them some life. They could have another Inquisitor Captain, which could end up getting them a really good card. They're going to attack all out. Do we just take it? We could just double block here. Guess they want to get back. Yeah, let's actually... They just get back a Spellbinder. Let's just make trades. I guess we do want this back, but Lisa helps us get it back. Yeah, let's just do this. Hopefully they don't have a removal spell for the Lisa. Okay, they don't, so we'll get the Connoisseur back. Those get exiled. Because of the Lisa as well. So we'll get Connoisseur end step, and then we'll be able to get to our Dungeon Scener as well off of another attack, and then play the Adventure. So as you saw, we're kind of just straight out value again. So all we really saw were Spellbinders that game, right? I guess we can bring this in. One of them or two of them. Always mono Spellbinder deck, but they're Clerics. Like having all the removal spells for them. Could cut one of these. Could cut a Fabled. I don't really think that we need the Duress. Blood Chiefs and the other Wandering Emperor. Do we really need the Kikis or even the Valky? I guess Valky's fine. We're mostly just like trying to be a little bit more controlling, I guess. They're more the beatdown in this matchup. That was really good. I mean, this deck is just really powerful. As you're seeing in the game so far, like, we're just able to overpower our opponents here. So, you know, it's pretty easy. You start to kind of snowball pretty quickly. Like, I can definitely say I love me some mid-range decks, and this deck just, oh, the value of this deck is amazing. I definitely recommend this deck for this weekend for our Slice of Alchemy event, so definitely check out the description below for a link to that. That one is free to play. And there are some cash prizes. And I think this hand's pretty good. We got removal spells. We have Nadar. Kind of follow that up with. We have Lisa as well. So let's say they start with, I believe it's the Cleric of Life's Bond. We'll just be able to kill it outright. And, yep, play our dual land first. We don't really have any instant speed interaction, unfortunately. I think we still want to play the drop. Maybe we just don't care about that. It's actually quite interesting, as we could do this to kind of venture, but it's not really something that's worth killing, I don't think. They get value off of it, so it's like we kind of break even a little bit. I actually think it's better to scry. Scry for a Black Source here. And we'll keep that Vanishing Verse on top. And we kind of just have so much removal now that we should be able to just kill all their cards and then get this Lisa down. They might have sideboarded in some removal if they didn't already have one for it. Alright, Valkyrie. Valkyrie's pretty good. But we'll just go ahead and exile that now. Play this as a white source and say go. Next turn we can Nadar and Blood Chiefs Thirst if they play like a 2-drop, anything like that. And they do have a Voice of the Blessed. So they'll gain some life. We'll be able to get that play we just mentioned down. So let's go ahead and shoot this here with the Blood Chiefs Thirst. Play this as a red source. Get this Nadar down. And let's start the quicker dungeon first. Keep that drop on top. That way we can kind of just get a bunch of ventures going. I think we do want to slam this Lisa, but it really does depend what our opponent does, considering we have 2 removal spells here. And Oro's pretty good. I think we do... We do this here. Make a goblin. Yeah, let's make a goblin. Get another attack here. Make this a 4/4. And we'll just kill this now. by going off with our last part of our dungeon here. We drew another removal spell, play this as a black source, and pass the turn. Now we still have Lisa, we have Grasp in case they play a card like this. And that's all they have. We have Vanishing Verse as well. I think I'd rather keep the Vanishing Verse just in case they have like another problematic permanent. Let's go to attack with both of these here. Start up another dungeon. Hit our opponent for some damage. And we'll say go. We don't have anything yet, huh? Mill, then return creature, planeswalker card. We don't have anything yet. We can really get back with the Takenuma. Portable Hole's not bad. They're going to get rid of the token. They got 2 cards left. If they have Skyclave Apparition, it's going to be a little bit annoying here. They do not, though. No Takenuma yet. We don't have anything in the graveyard worth getting back. Let's attack with the Nadar first, see if our opponent has anything for it. That way it kind of can dictate what we do next. Get a Scry here. Fabled's pretty good. We definitely want that on top. Deal some damage. Play down the Adventure and pass the turn. Still keeping up Takenuma or the Vanishing Verse as well. They have their own Takenuma, so they're potentially going to get back... Could get back Skyclave Apparites. Return any creature? Yeah, return any creature. Okay. Inquisitor Captain seems fine. Good choice there. And let's see what they get. Do they get the Skyclave Apparition? I think it looks like they did because they're pointing at our cards. Now they have Voice of the Blessed. And we're just going to go ahead and exile that Voice of the Blessed now. And we still have good attacks here. I think we could attack. Well, nah, we probably just want to keep this back just because we don't really want to, like, lose our value train here. If we play the Lisa, I guess we could. But in all honesty, I don't really even think it's worth it. I think it's better just to attack now with this here. Let's make a treasure. And we'll say go. We have 2 ways of getting it back, but I really like that this is a 4/4. I'm going to take a Fable. It's just going to be 5 mana. That's fine. I mean, 5 mana, I'll still play that card. It's not a big deal. You know, there's nothing else to do. I mean, still getting a Saga down is really good. Yeah, we just outvalued our opponent again. All right, ranking up. See you in the next game. All right, Mardu Venture, getting there. Let's go. Making some treasures, making some tokens, drawing some cards. Feels pretty good. And we're on the play. I think we have to mulligan this. Doesn't really seem like the best hand. Yep, this is actually keepable. Probably put the Power Word Kill back. I think we want to keep the Lisa. It's either that or the drop. Drop gives us like extra value though, is the good thing about it, so I think I'm okay doing it like that. Fortunately, we do need some white sources if we want to play this Fabled on time, just for this Lisa later. Okay, they're starting off with the Forsaken Crossroads. And yeah, I think I'm just going to do this here and just say go, just so it saves us a turn to be able to maybe play this pathway as the red or the white if we need it. Fortunately, can't really cast any of our other cards right now. Oh, that's kind of like a tough call there, I think. Nadar does scry. Let's do that first, just to get some value out of it. And put that on the bottom. We don't need another 4-drop. Pass the turn. They hit their 3rd land drop. Let's see what they have. do have 6 cards in, or excuse me, 7 cards in their hand. They have Kaido, not the worst, not the best. It's not gonna die. We draw a Valky. We can venture twice. Make a treasure and drain. Yeah, let's make a treasure. Yeah, I think we just want to do this, right? We can also just get down the Fabled. Yeah, let's do Fable, just because it could potentially just get us more mana. They have so many cards, I don't know if the Connoisseur is really gonna matter too much right now. It is a 3/3 body, but I think I just like getting Fable down and then can even pitch this Valkyrie if we need to. I don't know if it's worth it though. We're not hitting lands, which is kind of unfortunate. We might be able to get a good venture here next turn. Kaido's going to be problematic as well. We need to make sure that we kill that soon, if we can. Opponent's thinking hard. They have a lot of cards in their hand, so could be a tough choice here. Play a tap land and pass the turn. We draw our 4th land. Gonna try to attack the Kaido here. We get a venture and a treasure. Just drain our opponent here for damage. Okay, they have Spell Thief. That's pretty good. And we play this as a second white source and then just play the Lisa. I think so. Go ahead and get our 4/5 down. Fabled's gonna flip, then we can cast the Connoisseur. I don't think we want to throw that out there yet. Okay, they're gonna go ahead. Scry to the bottom. They have 5 cards left. They're gonna probably Kaido. Yep. Go ahead and just loot here. And so they're still going to have 5 cards left. I'm really interested to see what they play next. So we just need one more venture with this drop we can. Okay, so discard a land. And they have a brush choice. So it looks like this drop's going to be great just because it's going to get rid of this Blood Artist. They still have a blood token activation, but that's not really like a big deal. And we'll go ahead and flip this here. We'll go ahead and drop on the Blood Artist. Yep, that's fine. And we get an adventure out of it. So we get a venture here. We'll redraw. An Adar. I think we want to hold the removal. We actually kind of unfortunately have to play it as our second black source here. And we'll attack here. We do get a treasure, but we're just going to use this anyways on the Nadar. Do we just want to scry? Could I just gain a life too? Yeah, let's go for the big one just because we have both of these out. They could just have a meat hook, which would suck. Yep, they're going to go ahead and loot. They have meat hook, they have meat hook. I mean, I can't really do much about that. We can play our Connoisseur next turn, though, which is nice. maybe copy it. Or even copy the adventure and get 3 venture triggers. Okay, they have brush strokes, so they don't have a meat hook, which is great. They have a Geist, so that taps them out pretty much. And let's start off with a Connoisseur, see what they have. So they get rid of another brush stroke. I'm just going to go ahead and copy a Connoisseur. We'll go to combat. Attack out at them. Get a bunch of triggers. Scry 1. Keep that on top. It's a removal spell. Make a treasure. They're just going to take the damage here. We'll go ahead and scry with this. Making this a red source. Keep that on top. And we'll say go. And they'll go up to 5. We go down to 20, excuse me. And we do just have lots of value. We're going to be able to cast this Valky next turn as the Tybalt. And keep the value train going. Could have drawn Meat Hook. Meat Hook does suck, but then we just have Tybalt, which really, really helps us quite a lot. Not having Lisa is also kind of annoying. Could have killed the Kaido, but I just want to kill them as fast as I can. I don't want to give them a, I don't want to give them a turn off and then they draw the Meat Hook, and then either way, I mean, they're still going to go to 10 if they do it, but we still have Planeswalker here either way. So I think if they have it, then it's really good, but they also can only really do it. Let's see. Okay, so they can do it for 4. Just going to crack one of their blood tokens. Still could have land Meat Hook. Going to go up to 7. Oh, I forgot they fixed this a little bit. Painful Bond's going to draw some cards. So they're still not out of it. Okay, Undercity Plunder. That's pretty good. They'll get the Conjure card out of our deck. Get some more information. And they have a lot of cards too, so this isn't as effective as it could be. But they're at 5. And we'll just go ahead and... See, we can do 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's copy the adventure here. And then attack out. Yep. And then we also have the venture off of the land as well, the Dungeon's Descent. So... okay, let's take a look here. So they had 2 white. We only really saw... non-token... it's a random creature card. Wow, this card's pretty crazy. Kind of a grindy value deck. At least that's what I'm seeing. They have their own connoisseurs. Do we just want to shave one? Shave on a Valky? Probably just cut this, right? I guess they have the brush stroke, which is annoying. Let's cut down on a Valky. Cut down on a Connoisseur. Is power word kill still effective? Yeah, it's... guess it's just like okay. That's fine though, because we don't really want the me hook just because me hook is good against like me hook is good with the blood artist, so we would kind of get drained there. Yeah, I think this hand's okay. We can start off with the Sanctum and then go into an untapped Crossroad to Vanishing Verse. The Haggard's Mauling is a little bit awkward, so maybe we... I guess we can Mauling first no matter what. The problem is that then we can't pick this as red. Just because we won't be able to cast this on time. So we're hoping to draw like a pathway or something off the top. So then we can curve out into the Vanishing Verse. Another Crossroads is actually really good. Yeah, let's start off with the Sanctum. Can make this a white source, kill something with this, red source, Fabled, and then keep the rest going. Or play the Nadar first, whichever one feels better at the time. They have 5 cards left. Got some options here. Let's go ahead and see what they're up to. So they have a Plunder. We have to discard a card. I'll discard the 4-drop. And I'll actually discard the Mauling. And then we'll go ahead and just play this as a white source. We have Duress. I'm actually gonna Scry. I actually like that card. And then we can just Duress here just because... Yep. They do have Spell Thief. Doesn't really do too much though. Let's make this a red. We'll untap it. I actually think venturing is better just because we'll get a Scry in. Yep, Spell Thief. That's fine, they can get a Nadar. We have a removal spell for it. Let's go and get a Scry in here. I will keep that... yeah, let's keep that Duress. We get to attack here. We get to make a treasure, so we'll be able to Vanishing Verse. That's fine. Yep, they're going to do that. So even if... I guess they could just trade here. Is that worth it? Probably not. See what they have first. They don't have anything. Make a treasure. Which one are you blocking with? You're blocking with that. I'll just exile the other creature. We'll trade here, and we still have 2 value cards of them top decking, pretty much. Could top deck some Gasoline, though, don't get me wrong. If they hit a Planeswalker or something, that'd be really annoying. Alright, let's Fabled here. Alright, goes right through, so that feels good. They're top decking again. They did hit a Planeswalker this time. So they get a redraw, which is really good. And power word kill. I think we're going to keep that. I'm going to go and cast this Triumphant Adventure. Smash in. And pass a turn. We have this power word kill to kill anything, so you know, non-angel, demon, devil, dragon. And we'll be able to flip this next turn to start copying the adventure, hopefully, to start moving away with the value. So they could just loot here. I don't see a reason why they wouldn't start off with that. Might have some other spells that they want to cast out of their hand. Okay, they have a meat hook for 2. That's fine. We get a Kiki off of this flip. So they could just have like a targeted removal spell for this when it flips. And we have a targeted removal spell as well. And we'll just say go. Can't destroy this yet, unfortunately. Oh, that's really good. We'll just discard this. That's fine. And they get to conjure a card into their hand from our deck. So now they're starting to get away with the value. Like I said earlier, though, I mean, they were one Planeswalker away from starting to get some value, so... Even though it seemed like we were doing great, you can see how just one card makes a difference here. Oh, and they have another Plunder, unfortunately. Alright, so we're hoping the top deck something good we can copy off of the Kiki Jiki. Let's see here. Have another Fable, that's fine. Still something. Make a token, we'll actually copy the token. And we'll attack the Kaido here. They could have March. And they do have March for 1. So they're going to go ahead and get rid of the token. Probably redraw off of the Fabled here in a moment. They get a redraw off of Kaido. And they have 4 cards now. So it's going to be a lot harder for us to kind of get back into the game, I think. And they do have a Fragment Reality for us here. So it's going to get Exile. We do get a Valky, though, which is nice. We don't get to take anything, unfortunately. And they have a Vanishing Verse for our Fabled that they got out of our deck as well. Lisa's really good, actually. Let's go ahead and play that. Attack the Kaido, down 2 damage. And pass a turn. So we still have Lisa. Lisa can kind of fight through some things here. Gonna attack us. Get a redraw off the Kaido. They do have Fabled, which is gonna be a little annoying for us here, but we still have a flyer. Yep, they have Brushstroke. That's fine. And we're really hoping to just... I mean, a Connoisseur would actually be really good, too. We need a second black source for if we have double black spells. Scry to the bottom. Lisa does live, luckily. Let's go here, go face. Do they have removal spell? They do not. Kaido's going to die. We'll gain some life. Play this as a black source. Pass a turn. Kind of sucks that Valky didn't get any value, but you can see why we cut one of them. I was kind of hoping to hit the other side of it, if anything, but... I mean, still getting it down is okay, I guess. Getting a second Brushstroke here is going to be annoying to fight through, but Lisa does gain us quite a bit of life. They're going to go ahead and Fabled. And hit us for 1 here. We'll go down to 21. And we're drawing lands, unfortunately. We're just coming in for 4. And then we can just play this as another black source. And we're getting close. I mean, if we block here, Valky goes back to our hand, which is really nice. So let's see how many cards they discard to redraw here. So they do get rid of both. They got rid of a brushstroke. They get 2 redraws here. Now, even if both of our creatures die, we do get a redraw. Or excuse me, we get Valky back to our hand because of the Lisa. So they're going to go ahead and blood token here. We'll lose 2 life, go down to 23. They might do another blood token redraw, depending on what is in their hand. And it looks like they are. I think they're still deciding what they might want to discard here. Gonna discard the Eye of the Hive Tyrant, so not really too much, I guess. We'll take another 2 off of the brushstrokes. And they have 2 cards now in their hand still. Painful Bond draws them some more cards, which is great. Really good card. And they could attack. Like I said, we just block with our Valky, and then it comes back. And if we top deck a land, we can just cast the Tibalt side, hopefully. Yep, so we'll go ahead and trade here. Hopefully try to draw a land to try to cast a Tibalt. They could have a Connoisseur, potentially, is what they're going for. I guess if they can't do it now, though, because it's end step, yeah. Alright, we don't draw a land. But we do get to attack for 4 here. And gain 4 life. Might just want to wait on that. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we'll just say go here. Can use the march to kind of get rid of anything at this point. All we have is Lisa, but it's still something. We'll take 1 point of damage here. They're going to cast Connoisseur, which will get rid of our Valky, unfortunately. So let's get rid of this. Just exile it. We have to get rid of this Valky, unfortunately. Should have cast it last turn, but I think it's worth the risk. Yeah. So close, but we're definitely winning in the race right now. Got a 2-turn clock. Play this down. Say go. Fortunately, not having the Valky there was annoying, but definitely happens. We're going to take 4 here. Go down to 21. Do they have a meat hook for us? Could have a meat hook for 5. That would wipe the board, but it would kill our Lisa as well. They're going to go crack a blood token here. Lose a couple life. Not really sure what we could draw on our end that would really be too outrageous. Maybe like a Fabled, just because it helps us do things. Potentially an Adar. Wandering Emperor would also be a really great draw as well. And they go down to 4. And we'll say go. See if they hit a removal spell. We'll take 4 damage here. Go down to 19. And they have 3 cards left. They do have a meat hook for 5. So unfortunately we are going to lose our board. They lose their board though. But, you know, it's kind of worse for us here, especially because we're just drawing lands. We got pretty close here. We really need to draw just anything that's not a land to help keep us in the game. They have another Kaido. Yeah, that's bad news for us. So I think we might end up going to game 3 here. We got pretty close with just the Lisa, but it's not going to do it. Okay, they got a Geist down. They still have 2 cards. Ugh, that's not gonna... It's not helping right now. Get this Duress in here, see what they have. Let's go get rid of this Vanishing Verse. Play this as a black source and say go. Yeah, they can just copy one of our spells too. So we're just like in a really, really bad spot. Yep, get a redraw. Where it's just unfortunate. It's like we battled through everything and then we're back in the same spot, you know? We were doing really good for a little bit. Yeah, Blood Chief's Thirst. And we can kill the Kaido. But then they're just gonna copy the Bloodchief's Thirst into their hand. So, I mean, they just have removal. This is 8. I don't really think we can win this game anymore. They have here 9. Yeah, we're 2 behind. We need to draw quite a lot of good things in a row there to kind of keep us in the game. What do we want to do here? We need to turn to draw Meehook, but even if we draw Meehook, I mean, they still have the land. We're going to take 11 or so here. That was just pretty bad. Yeah, that was rough. Let's see. Yeah, they just have plunders, which is kind of hard for us to grind through. Do we want the Lolth? Just because it hits hard. Could also take a Connoisseur. Let's just bring in a Lolth because it hits hard. We didn't even have our Meehooks in anyway, so wasn't really like a way for us to get back into. Like I said earlier, you don't even want your Meehooks against that deck most of the time, so that was like one of the few instances where we might have wanted it. Being on the play does help, so we might be able to get like an aggressive start here. And this is definitely an aggressive start. 2-drop, 3-drop into Fable. So let's try to get this Adventurer down. If they have a Duress, we get rid of Fabled, unfortunately. Which they could. They could go Eye of the Hive Tyrant into the Duress play. We're going to go ahead and get this Adventurer down next turn off of the plains, and then follow it up with the Nadar. Try to get some ventures going. Ooh, we actually hit our own Eye of the High Tyrant. Or excuse me, Hive of the Eye Tyrant. And then we can get Nadar down, so we can start venturing. Could make an argument for the Fable, maybe. Also depends on what they do here. They have quite a lot of cards in their hand. So their decisions could be infinite. Let's go ahead and see what our opponent's up to. They did choose to untap their Crossroads, so they're going to cast something. I don't know if they just have the Draw 2 spell, maybe. Looks like they are just going to exile our Triumphant Adventure. Let's go and get Nadar down, get some value here. The card's great. Definitely want to keep that on top. It's the first time we've seen it. All match. Was hoping to top deck that last game at some point. Kaido, let's go. Probably gonna loot. Yep. Kaido loot seems like the play these days. Let's play this as a red source. Let's attack our opponent here. Get a second activation, make a goblin. And then just say go. And we can Wandering Emperor on their end step. And then Fabled on our turn. Could have a Meehook eventually for us, but I'm feeling pretty good about where we're going in the game. They do have card advantage going, but we may be able to attack the Kaido. Let's see what they end up choosing here to do with their turn, which could dictate what we're going to do as well. Right now we have a dungeon on 2. We need 2 more to be able to finish it off. Pump up the team. Pretty tough decision here. Either way, just because they have so many cards. Looks like they're just going to go ahead and discard the Geist. And they are going to go for the plunge. So I'm actually just going to get rid of both of our lands here. Just so that they don't get any value from it. They could have a land drop. I was about to say, hopefully it comes into play tapped. Looks like they're going to... yep, they are going to untap it. So they have another plunge. We'll just cast this. Make a token. Discard the Kikis. They'll get a redraw. We get a redraw. Could pop this off as well. I think we just plus here, though. Onto the Nadar. Kill the Kaido. Hit them for 2. We get to put a counter. Yeah, let's put a counter here. Let's go ahead and kill the Kaido. So we have Nadar. Do we just want to cast it? I don't think so. I think we'll just say go here. Kami hook for 3. Gets rid of 2 of our creatures. Puts them back up to 16. Next turn, we kind of go off a little bit with the dungeon, at least, to redraw. They do have a lot of cards left, though, so... Right now, we're kind of working with whatever we have on the battlefield. Looks like they're just going to pass. We drew a Vanishing Verse. Do we just want a plus? Let's go to combat first, see what they do. Okay, they're not doing much here. We get to Venture. Get a redraw, which is great. I didn't want to just get blown up by a removal. I didn't want to get blown up by a removal spell and not being able to get the Venture either. Because not only did we get a Venture now, but we might even be able to get a Venture again off of the next Nadar that we play. Wow, we hit Lisa. That's pretty good. Fortunately, we don't have the treasure for it, though. I think I am going to try to go for pumping this up, though. Just to get it out of another meat hook, like more meat hook range. And then we'll go ahead and just pass the turn here. They have their own Wandering Emperor. And they're going to do something with it. So let's see what they do first. They're going to make a token. Let's go ahead and just exile it now. They get a token, but their Emperor is dead. Meathook doesn't save them either because we have Nadar as a 5/5. So even if they wipe the board, we still get to attack with our creature. Now they do have 4 cards in hand, and they have 2 cards in exile in their graveyard that they're able to cast. So this game isn't over yet by any means. Could do have another Nadar next turn, which is great. In case one of ours now dies. Go ahead and see what our opponent does. So they do have a land drop. See how they use their mana. So they have Benevolent Geist first. And it looks like they're going to pass. So we have Connoisseur as well. Yep, just going to go straight to combat first here, see what our opponent does. Looks like they have Vanishing Verse. That's fine. Still going to come in for 3 here. Go ahead and kill their flyer. Play a Connoisseur, get rid of one of their cards. Get rid of the Kaido, which is great. And we'll make a Samurai. And they're still at 4. We have Nadar next turn, which pumps up the team already because we've completed a dungeon. We have a Wandering Emperor countered as well. So it looks like they have Benevolent Geist. And potentially another spell with that. They have Removal Spell. That's fine. They could have Meathook, which does gain them life, but we still have Wandering Emperor, and then we have the Nadar follow-up. If we draw a land, we'll have this Lisa as well, which I really want to get down here. They could have their own connoisseur. Okay, so it looks like they do have the meat hook for 3. So they are going to go back up to 7. Alright, they have a land. Alright, we have a tap land, so we'll go ahead and venture. Yeah, let's go ahead and scry 1 here. I'm not going to risk anything. That seems pretty good. It's a removal spell. We'll go ahead and make a Samurai as well, and we'll pass. And let's see what they top decked here. All right, and we got there. What a grind fest. That was a match. All right, those are some great games. That last match was definitely a grind fest, I must say. So overall, we ended up going 5-1 with the deck. Fortunately, my untap needed an update, so it wasn't tracking my games. But we lost our first match that I played pretty handily. Didn't really draw too many lands, and then we kind of went on a 5-0 run there. So 5-1 overall with the deck, great. On the ladder, the games that we did win were just absolutely dominating outside of that last match that you saw, which was pretty grindy, but we still won it. So overall, I think that this deck is a great choice for Sunday. I still think the venture mechanic's great. You just have tons of value in the deck overall. Just all the cards just feel really, really powerful. It never feels like you're out of the game, and it just always feels like once you get your engines going, the game snowballs out of control, and then before you know it, your opponent's conceding because they're just too far behind and they can't keep up with what you're doing. So I definitely think that this deck is one to keep an eye for, and I think that this is definitely a great choice for Sunday's event as well. So if you enjoyed the content, hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Check out our tournament this Sunday, either on the coverage or sign up. It is free to play with cash prizes. And as always, stay cheesy, everybody. See you next time.